Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Rick Scott got into a Twitter battle over who is more embarrassing to Congress. And if you're taking bets, just know that earlier on Instagram, Ocasio-Cortez admitted that she's afraid of her garbage disposal and has no idea what it is or what it does. Also, a militant Democrat in Pennsylvania is harassing, intimidating, and threatening protesters who disagree with him. Welcome to the world of tolerance. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got into a Twitter battle with Senator Rick Scott the other day. And in case you don't know how this is going to end, let me just reveal something that Ocasio-Cortez said the other day about her garbage disposal. Apparently, she's never seen one before in her life, has no idea what it does, and it's downright scary. Take a look at this.
Okay, everyone, I need your help because I just moved into this apartment a few months ago and I flipped this switch and it made that noise and it scared the daylights out of me.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Are you stupid or something?
But there's more.
I am told this is a garbage disposal. I've never seen a garbage disposal. I never had one in any place I've ever lived. It is terrifying. I don't know what to use it for or what its purpose is.
Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding. So you have that. That sets the stage for the Twitter battle. So it started with Senator Rick Scott was going after Cory Booker for his policy now on a federal gun registry. And here is what Scott tweeted. He said, "Breaking. The latest terrible idea to come out of the Democrats' 2020 primary is a federal gun registry. If you want to buy a gun, Cory Booker wants you to register with the federal government. This would be scary if Booker had any chance of becoming president." And then Scott added another tweet. "What's next? Will we have to register sharp knives? Maybe AOC will make us register every time we buy meat as part of her Green New Deal." Yep, and he said it. So, of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came back and said this, that a sitting U.S. senator can say something lacking so much critical thinking and honesty is embarrassing to the institution. If you were a female candidate, maybe you'd be called unlikable, crazy, or uninformed. But since you're not, this inadequacy is accepted as normal. Of course, then Scott fired back, and he tweeted this, that a sitting congresswoman doesn't understand sarcasm would be embarrassing to the institution if you hadn't embarrassed yours to the point of irrelevance already. America rejects socialism and will continue to do so. So that was a nice comeback from him, and so far there was no reply from Cortez. But here's what bugs me. Here's what bugs me in her response, is that she immediately played the female card, that she's being attacked because she's a woman. And she describes these adjectives. And this is exactly what Ilhan Omar did the other day in one of her tweets when she was being blasted on her ongoing anti-Semitic comments. Here's what she said. "Women of color have heard this before. Instead of we disagree, it's she doesn't know what she's talking about. They have to make us feel small. This from an administration that thinks climate change is a Chinese hoax." All right, so on one hand, you know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is complaining that she's being criticized because of her gender. Ilhan Omar is saying it's because of race. Never do they take responsibility for their actual comments, that it could be because they are saying things that are just so out there, either ridiculous from Ocasio-Cortez or anti-Semitic from Ilhan Omar. Yet they have to play some other kind of card. And for me, I honestly think that Beto O'Rourke is probably the dumbest guy out there running, and I'd cover him more and talk about his stupid stuff, but he's not making news anymore. He's kind of fading fast. So because of that, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we're going to keep on doing it as long as she's afraid of her garbage disposal and has no idea what it does. I mean, I don't even get that. But here's something that's really frustrating, folks. We have a Democrat, a state representative named Brian Sims in Pennsylvania, who is making it his habit of patrolling the Planned Parenthood in his district and harassing people that go out there. These people are not throwing rocks. They're not screaming. They're not yelling. They're going out there to pray that these people will make a different decision and save an innocent human life. They are going out there to pray, and he is harassing them, intimidating them, and saying all sorts of vile things, and we've got it on video. Here's a picture of this guy. Again, it's State Representative Brian Sims in Pennsylvania, and here, just take a look at a clip from one of his recent videos.
You're out here shaming people for something that they have a constitutional right to do. Who would have thought that an old white lady would be out in front of a Planned Parenthood telling people what's right for their bodies? Shame on you.
All right, what's interesting to me is that Sims labels her a protester, and all she's doing is walking and praying. And here's more, though.
Yep. Disgusting. So do me a favor, please. If you're watching this, Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania is one of the most heavily protested Planned Parenthoods in the country, and they deserve your support. These are the kind of attacks that we can expect on Planned Parenthoods in the current administration.
Are you kidding me? He says these are attacks? Does it look like this woman is attacking anybody? She's walking. He is the one being belligerent. He is the one doing the attacking. And here's even more.
Shame on you. What you're doing here is disgusting. It's an attack on common sense. It's an attack on the Constitution. It's an attack on the rights of every single person coming here. And don't convince yourself that what you're doing isn't extremely racist. How dare you? This is grotesque.
So he says racist and grotesque. He says this after he is just nonstop harassing this woman. It goes on and on and on. And then earlier in the video, I don't have the clip here, he actually asks for her address. If someone could provide her address so that he can go and protest in front of her house. And this is actually a follow-up to a video a couple weeks ago when he was harassing a mom, her 2 teenage daughters, and daughter's friend outside the abortion clinic, and we have that footage here.
Hi everyone, Representative Brian Sims here, and I am outside the Planned Parenthood at Southeastern Pennsylvania. Oh no, they're leaving now. What we've got here is a bunch of protesters. A bunch of pseudo-Christian protesters who've been out here shaming young girls for being here. And so here's the deal. I've got $100 to anybody who will identify any of these 3.
Okay, he describes them as a bunch of pseudo-Christian protesters. It is a mom and 3 teenage girls that went there to pray. They actually greeted him nicely, and all he has is disgusting things to say. And as you saw, he's offering $100 to anyone who could provide the identities of the 3 teenage girls. It's absolutely outrageous, and luckily the blowback and the reaction, at least from conservative side, has been swift and it's been strong, and something needs to be done. Leela Rose, the founder of Live Action, tweeted this the other day. In this video, State Representative Brian Sims says he'll pay followers $100 if they are able to dox the 3 teen girls he films who are quietly praying outside a Planned Parenthood abortion clinic. How is this guy still allowed to be on Twitter? And then yesterday, she followed up with this. Leftist Brian Sims used both Twitter and Facebook to show video of him harassing and threatening to dox 3 teenage girls and an elderly woman. There has been no action taken by the platforms. Conservative or right accounts are routinely suspended and banned for far less. All right, and that is an awesome point. Just yesterday, they removed a Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez parody Twitter account, and they've banned some other conservatives recently, and yet this guy, who's actually harassing and intimidating people, is allowed to go on. But here's what I was wondering. You know, at first he approaches this middle-aged woman, then he approaches a mom with 3 teenage daughters, and what I couldn't help but thinking is, you know, dude, what is wrong with you guys? You know, come protest against a guy. Come protest against me or something. What are you doing harassing these people? And I was wondering if anyone was going to speak up. Well, the dad, the husband of the lady and the father of 2 of those teenage girls, has put together a GoFundMe page after Brian Sims. And here's what he has to say. And I love some of his comments. Let's take a look. All right, we have, under the title, State Representative Brian Sims tried to harass and dox my daughters. He offered $100. Let's donate $100,000 to the pro-life movement instead. On Holy Thursday, April 18th, 2019, my wife, 2 teenage daughters, and their friend were peacefully praying outside of a Planned Parenthood in Center City, Philadelphia, when a man started yelling at them. After ranting at them for several minutes, he left and returned with his cell phone to record the above video, which is what I had showed you. It's bad enough that a grown man would be trying to dox 3 teenage girls. It's even worse that he's an elected official. I've got 2 responses to these despicable actions by Representative Sims. And the first, Brian, if you have a problem with my wife and daughters praying outside an abortion clinic, I'm the one you can talk to, instead of harassing teenage girls. Absolutely, positively right. What is this guy? He's some kind of, angry coward. And my thought is, what I'm wondering is, where is the response from the Democrat Party in Pennsylvania? What is their response there? And the state legislature in Pennsylvania. Surely harassment and intimidation is not part of their code of conduct for an elected official in that state. And I'm waiting for them to come back and say something that is meaningful, because this guy is harassing and intimidating, and it shows that the left is not the party of tolerance. They're not the party of inclusiveness. They will try and harass and intimidate people until they stop, because they cannot win debates, and so they want to drive them from the scene. That is their only way they know they can advance their agenda, and it just is so frustrating. And now, finally, since they wanted to talk about, the pro-life movement, they're protesting outside Planned Parenthood, I just wanted to include this clip from the other day from a discussion on CNN, Chris Cuomo hosting the piece, and you have a woman who was on the New York City Council, and she is a very big proponent of New York's late-term abortion ban, which allows you to have an abortion all the way up until the day of delivery. And it's just absolutely outrageous. Her name is, she's a former speaker of the New York City Council, Christine Quinn. And here's a clip from CNN that just defies logic.
I answered it numerous times. When a woman gets pregnant, that is not a human being inside of her.
Wow, so it's not a human being inside her. And then Chris Cuomo adds this.
You guys go too far when you pervert the facts. We have the President of the United States saying that a baby is born at the end of full term, swaddled in a blanket, and then to decide whether or not to execute it. That's BS.
Virginia
it divides people. Nobody said it. It's not the law anywhere in this country. It's homicide.
All right, so no one's saying that? Well, how about Governor Ralph Northam from Virginia?
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
So, folks, what the Democrats are pushing, what's passed in New York, what they're pushing in Virginia is abortion up until delivery, which is absolutely outrageous. It's grotesque. It's vile. And they push it as if it's no big deal, like if it's not even a human being. There are pre-birth surgeries that are done on infants. They open up the womb and perform surgery. And why? Because that's a living human being there, and then they wait for delivery. So don't tell me it's not a human being. These people, again, shouting and arguing because they cannot win a logical debate. Folks, that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and please tell your friends. I'm Bobby Eberly. This is the 13-Minute News Hour.